Hey, presenting on the Spinalis, Iliocostalis, and the Longissimus. Let's see, first up is the Spinalis. So that's these long muscles right here. So the origin for the Spinalis is the C7 through T1 spinous processes for the capitis portion. The cervical portion is C7 through T1 spinous processes as well, and the thoracic portion is the spinous processes T11 through L2. Get a good view right there. The insertion is the occipital bone. Show you right in there. That's for the capitis version, the occipital bone. For the cervical portion, it's the spinous processes of C2 and C4, and then the thoracic portion is the spinous process T2 through T8. And then the nerve for this one is the lateral branch of the posterior rami of spinal nerves. And then, so let's see, I'm going to move on to the Iliocostalis. Hold on here a sec. I didn't write origin insertion on here because I feel like it get too jumbled up, but there's 3 different portions here, as you can see, of the Iliocostalis. Let's see, cervical portion originates at the angle of the ribs 3 through 6. Let's see, boom, right in there. And then the thoracic originates at the angle of the ribs 7 through 12, and the lumborum is the, so now we're down to these ones, is the lateral crest of sacrum, medial end of iliac crest, and thoracochondral fascia. And the insertion for the cervical portion is the transverse processes of C4, C6, right in there. For the thoracic portion, it is the angles of the ribs 1 through 6 and transverse processes of vertebrae C7. So right in here. And then the lumborum portion is the angle of ribs 5 through 12, transverse process of vertebrae L1 through 4. Boom. And then let's see, flip around to the back here to the longissimus. Get you a good view there. So origin for longissimus is for the capitis version, which is the uppermost version, or segment, I should say, is the transverse process of C4 through T5, right in there. And then the cervical portion is the transverse processes of T1 through 5, right in there. And the, let's see here, sorry. And then for the lumbar portion, it is the lumbar intermuscular epineurus, right in there. And then the thoracic part is the spinous process of vertebrae L1 through L5, right in here. And the insertion for the upper part is the mastoid process of the temporal bone, and then the cervical portion is the transverse process of C2 to C6 vertebrae. and then the thoracic is L1 through L5. Yep, and then the nerves for that are the lateral branches of the posterior rami of spinal nerves. It's the same for all three muscles I showed. And then the action. So the action is extension of the head. Try to get so this motion right here. Here's extension of the head, cervical and thoracic spine. So it's this motion. An exercise you can do, I'm not going to do it because I'd have to get on the floor, but you lie flat on the floor and your arms are up above you, and it's called a Superman, and you extend your neck and head back like this, lift up, and you repeat that. You also lift your legs up too, and then daily action for this would just be your posture, like if you're slouched, pulling yourself back in the correct posture, extending your head, cervical, spine, thoracic spine. Thank you.